Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad that you stopped by.
Ladies and gentlemen, guess who we have here today? We have the real estate guru. I'll just call him the real estate guru of Puerto Rico. How does that sound, Sherif?
Sounds great.
I'm excited for this. You know why? You know why I'm so excited? I've known you for a long time. I know that you come through for your clients. I've known you and your clients well enough to know that you come through. And I think our audience has got to see and hear kind of what you can do to add value to them as investors. And also, who knows, maybe even as, marketers of a fund or maybe even making their own fund. A lot of people didn't realize you can even make your own fund. So anyway, great to have you here. I totally appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Connor. Great to connect with you again.
So let's get right to it. How about this? Why real estate? Why are you in real estate? And then we'll get into your background. Why are you in real estate?
Because really, I believe unless you have productive assets, meaning assets that produce income, you really will not be able to retire. You'll not be able to get big because with real estate, you can have the leverage with the banks. You can have an asset that over time will beat inflation and then keep bringing you income. I don't buy art. I don't get into crypto. Anything that does not bring income, I'm not in it.
I can deal with that, but why is it? So you're saying it's going to get a better rate of return generally than the stock market or crypto. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah, not only that, it brings you what I call endless rates of return. And eventually it's like really infinite rates of return because you'll eventually get your money back. So it becomes an unbelievable asset over time.
All right, I can deal with that. But why you? Why you? Why are you the big stud in real estate, or are you just one of those pretend guys in real estate?
Well, I've been in the market for over 40 years and I have assets. I have real estate funds that are my real estate funds are over 15 years in business. We've gone through different cycles. In 2009, 10, 11, I was doing great. I'm not one of those who started on the market, just started spiking. I've been through the cycles. I've shown that my funds have lasted so long. Also, I have assets. I'm the largest owner of historic properties in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico, part of the US. I do luxury homes in San Francisco. Those are $10 million properties. We have like 7 right now. A couple of them are 25 million residential homes in San Francisco. So we've done from the small type of properties in residential homes, let's say in Ohio, all the way to mega $1 million properties. I've seen it all. So, and I have a couple of bestseller books on Amazon and done live events, thousands of followers on YouTube, all the good stuff, You're
the man. I know you're the man. I like that. You're being a little modest. It's kind of weird, but it's all good. It's all good. So how can some of your concepts add value to, the people in our database, the people who are going to be watching or hearing this?
Well, there are many ways you can benefit from what I teach and what I share. I try to give people what I hoped and was wishing somebody would give me when I was starting. So I structured, when I started making a lot of money in real estate, I realized I should help others. I should teach. That's the way to give back. Some people give back money, some give back time. I wanted to give back knowledge. And when I give knowledge, I set up at the time live events and I started giving free live events. Actually, in 2009, a whole year, free live events wherever we held the events. I didn't realize in life, really, the more you give, the more you get back. I gave out of faith. I just wanted to help. And I wanted to show people what's out there, the potential in the market, because the market was very difficult in many times in the world. I started really giving events in 1999. And my first event actually was January 6, 1998. But really, it got big in 99. And got big in a way that I would send an email and then people would show up. Like no more than just an email. And we did a lot in California because I have a good base in California. And by 2004, we moved to Puerto Rico. I took residence in Puerto Rico because there are a lot of tax incentives in the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico. So I was able to reduce my taxes because California tax were killing me as I buy, fix, and flip properties. And so we teach people really either how to get into commercial real estate, because that's a big thing we do, how to get started with very little money and assign deals. They assigned it to my real estate funds. We then evolved a decade later. People made so much money, they wanted to set up their own syndication. So I said, well, don't set up a syndication, which is like one asset where you buy like an apartment building and raise capital from investors, get loans from the bank and do the deal. Set up a real estate fund where in one structure, you can do an apartment building, a storage facility, discount notes, mortgage liens, you can get the tax liens. In one structure, you can have all these different type of assets, and it's like a mutual fund instead of just one stock. Instead of a syndication with one asset, set up a fund. And instead of being in an equity position where you have people give you money and they share an upside and a downside, totally different, set up a debt fund where you pay them a fixed return. And this way, after a few years, not only are they happy with the return, they can compound the return, not get paid out, but compound it. And you don't have to pay too much money. They will still make a lot through the compounding effect. And you, as a fund manager, you don't have to sell the assets in 5 years or 7 years like anybody else. You can just refinance the asset and pay off investors, and then you own it and keep it for the rest of your life for your family. This transformed my life. I have dozens and dozens of people we help them set up. I have in-house attorneys, so we set them up with the private placement memorandum. I give them a training. We do it all as a package, less than any attorney would do just for the paperwork. So it has been a very successful program for the last 5 years. And we have a lot of success stories. I have over 1,000 success stories on YouTube. I don't know if any other education company has that many success stories. People saying, I made money with this guy.
No, I know. I believe me. I know your deal. So that's pretty awesome.
We've known each other since what? 2009, wasn't it?
Yeah. We're getting old. Or no, you and I are getting younger somehow, right?
Yes.
So wait a minute. I have some questions because that's going to help some people out there. Explain a little bit more about this fund. Let's say I'm a real estate agent or a student, and I say, I want to get some clients in your fund, or I guess it becomes my own fund. Explain the logistics, because that sounds almost too good to be true. Explain that.
Okay, so first of all, let's say you came to me and I don't know you and say, hey, Sherif, like you said, I am a real estate agent or broker, and I have been helping other people make money. I want to make money. I see the deals. I just don't have the big down payment. I don't have the credibility with the bank to do this. How do I do it? First of all, I look at your background. First of all, you have to have a cleaner background. It doesn't matter if somebody filed bankruptcy before or something. It doesn't matter. The key thing is it has to be the bankruptcy like 2 years ago. But do you know what you're doing? Have you had a good background with a business model? Let's say you do wholesaling, you do buying fix and flips, you buy apartment building and reposition them or something. Yeah, at least you've done a couple good successful deals that you want to scale now. That's when I say, okay, Kenner, let's make it happen. I have a business plan that we go through. They call it the 5 Ps. The 5 Ps like, who are the people are going to be involved with you? What type of clients do you want? We want accredited investor or non-accredited? I recommend accredited. Accredited are those with a net worth of $1 million plus. Okay. What the second P is going to be, what type of projects or properties you're going to do. Oh, Sherif, I want to take land and develop it. Or that's what I do. Or I want to take these undervalued assets and then take them to their highest and best use or whatever. So that's your actual property type or projects. The third P is the positioning. Why would people come to you? Because I'm the one in control of the Valley market in Los Angeles. I'm the one great for downtown Seattle. I'm the one that does Miami oceanfront or whatever it is that is your positioning in the market. You have to have some positioning, and we help you discover the angle that will attract investors and etc. Number 4 is the performance. What are you going to do with the money? If somebody gives you money, what are you going to do? We're going to buy the land. We're going to get it entitled. We're going to build this. Or we're going to take these properties, we're going to convert these hotels into apartment buildings, or take apartment buildings, convert them to hotel, whatever the angle is. So that's the performance of what's going to happen with the money. And then finally, number 5 is the profit. So the people, the projects, the positioning, the performance, and the profit. How much money you think your projects will make so you can pay the investors X. So that's the first thing I do with you is say, tell me your background. Let's come up with a business plan here. This is done over a phone call, and it's done fast, and it does not take hours to, like some people spend like days and days trying to whip out these business plans that are 40 pages long. This could be 1 page. Okay. Then what we do is there is a questionnaire for the Securities and Exchange Commission, because we comply with the rules of the government organization, the arm of the government that controls the activities of raising capital and deploying it.
Okay.
Security and Exchange Commission wants certain compliance rules.
Mhm.
So first you fill out the form saying, okay, what state are you in? How much money do you want to raise, etc. Usually I set up people with $100 million real estate fund. We do it as a debt fund. So when people give you money, you can pay returns such as like 6% to 8% per year. You can get, for instance, raise the minimum share of 25,000. People can buy as many shares as they want. If they buy, let's say 10 shares, that's 250,000. So we do a structure that I know works and a lot of nuances in it. So it becomes a debt fund, meaning whoever gives you money, we take a lot of IRA money, for example. IRA money sitting, small increments, 50,000, 70,000, etc. All this money starts coming into your structure. And as a fund, we say you're going to buy these type of properties, these type of assets, these type of lands, these type of this nationwide. So I give you what is called an all-encompassing fund. So you're set up once, you can keep running until you decide to close. You can raise up to 100 million. You only pay 6% and 8% depending on how much money they give you. You pay it semi-annually, and at any time you can cash them out with that interest accrued. So somebody gave you, let's say, 300,000, and you're paying them every 6 months the interest only payment. At any time, they can also cash out by sending you an email saying, I'd like to cash out within 12 months notice. 12 months notice. They're not stuck like other real estate syndication where a guru sets up the syndication, has to raise money, and now everybody's stuck for 5 to 7 years. And God help us if the interest rate changes, like what happened. You're in total control here. You're able to deliver. We've delivered. We've never missed a payment. Even through COVID, we didn't miss a payment. And we continue to grow. Thank God. 15 years performance. You can check out my funds, MIGSIF, MIGSIF, also SFI fund. And I show people what type of fund they should set up. There are different regulations under the SEC. And it's all done with one Zoom call with the student slash investor who wants to set up. Then a questionnaire filled out, then a call with the attorney, my attorney who sets up these. And he's not just an attorney who sets up funds. Like most attorneys that set up funds, they just deal with setting up a fund through a template. My attorney does the litigation. So he knows exactly the latest rules of the SEC because he's been I've known him for 11 years. I mean, and just call him and say, boom, boom, 2 minutes of conversation. We know what we have to do. So we set up the whole thing turnkey. And when the paperwork is done, they fly in and meet me either in California or in Puerto Rico. I want to show them Old San Juan. I'm the largest owner there. I think I mentioned to you of historic properties. I can show them what I've done. I can show them the mixed-use retail buildings. I can show them the multi-unit buildings. I show them the hotels I have. I mean, in Old San Juan, I control the largest inventory in the history of Old San Juan. And this is over 33 buildings. This is where the cruise ships arrive. So I show them, I tell them, this is how it's done. I show them the structure. I go over the private placement memorandum in details. Then I show them how I pitched and raised millions and millions through the years. You know, I met you. You presented the financial advice. I presented the real estate stuff. So we are very familiar with stuff like this. Not many people can publicly present, but this is so powerful when somebody has a fund and they can explain to people, your money is not secured just by one asset. It's secured by all these assets we're bringing into the fund. I even set up their fund in a way that can do joint venture with other funds, such as with my fund, or with other investors, or with contractors. It just boosted people's results to a phenomenal level.
Okay, wait. So ultimately, what you're saying is, what your real kind of added value for our listeners and viewers is, hey, come to you and set up a fund, and it sounds like it's semi-turnkey, right? So let's just say because a lot of our 12,000 people on our database are students of real estate gurus, and a lot of them some of them are unhappy. Let's say. So what you're saying is they can contact you. And you, Sherif Medawar, will put together a customized fund, customized turnkey fund, from the sounds of it, under their umbrella or under your umbrella, by the way?
Under their umbrella. It's their choice in their market, and they can raise money anywhere in the United States and from offshore, and they can bring that money to do their own deals. And if they don't have specific deals and they raise money, they can do it with other funds. So I could put them in touch with each other, because now we have a good database of dozens of investors that set up their own real estate funds that are successful. So I set it up in a way that people can team up. So somebody raised money, somebody has a project, they can do a joint venture, and vice versa. Somebody has a project, didn't raise enough money, they can team up with somebody else. You see, so this is the opportunity. And not only do we set it up for them, the difference between me and an attorney that just sets up this paperwork is it's customized specifically for them as a debt fund, number one. Number two, they get a training for in details how to go and pitch, how to get the marketing done, how to raise that capital via one-on-one trainings for, like, let's say they're having lunch, exactly how to present it to attract people and stay within the compliance of the SEC. If they go to an investors club, exactly the pitch they have to say that will help them raise capital. From my experience, and the evidence is my funds and how much money we've raised and the assets we have in the fund.
And then your mixture gets 8%. So meaning they can customize, utilize your turnkey system. I know it sounds weird because it's a juxtaposition of terms, but they can offer 8% to an investor if they put in, pretending, $100,000, they can get 8% in effect.
So from 25,000 to 249,000, if you will, the investors, I pay them 6%.
6%. Okay.
From 250,000 more, pay 8%. Now let's take a second there and talk about compounding. I have investors that have been with me since 2009 in the fund. These people chose not to get paid every 6 months, 4% and 4%. They chose to compound every 6 months. Now, if you compound 8% semi-annually, in 10 years, your annual rate of return becomes 12%. Let that be for 20 years. I mean, we're already 15 years into it. Your annual rate of return will be closer to 20%. So, you know, you look at Warren Buffett and how he told investors, I'm not going to pay you anything, right? Warren Buffett does not pay a dividend, does not pay neither 6 nor 8, but the stock market averaged 8%. So he explained the compounding effect and how it made him from age, I think he was almost 60 when he was in the billionaire the first time, but the compounding effect made him one of the richest people in the world. So I have people that have been with me for so long and they have reinvested. It's just crazy. It's crazy the returns they have. This lady, she became a single mother because she got a divorce, and she was a friend of my late wife, and she invested with me 250,000, and now she has over 600,000. It's unbelievable.
I'm totally hearing it. And I'm assuming there's 2 added benefits that you provide. One, I think you're a smart dude. You've been in it for a long time. But also 2, I think you're smart about taxes, mainly Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So those the two reasons you can provide a 6 and 8% rate of return?
Well, the reason 6 and 8 is we charge no fees. So other funds say, I'm going to pay you X return, maybe a little bit higher, but it's an equity fund. You have to stay with me 5 years. We may pay you very little cash flow. At the end, we're going to cash out for more profit, and then annual rate of return, you're going to make more. They don't even code it as annual rate of return. They call it IRR. Internal rate of return, which is extremely hard to calculate. People can Google it and see how confusing that is.
I know, you're totally right. There's classes on that, yeah.
But when we say we pay you a pure 6 and 8%, there is no fee, no acquisition fee, no management fee, no disposition fee. Me as a fund manager, anybody I set up, they get paid after everybody gets paid. And then if there is a huge upside, they keep it. If there is a downside, because you have so many assets, one asset covers for the other. Every 6 months, when we send the letter with the payout of interest, we tell them, here are the assets we're holding, this is what we're doing, this came on the market, etc. And people get to enjoy the fact that they don't have to worry about a specific asset performing. They have all these assets in it. And we show the people that starting a fund how they can build it little by little and have a structure that is so awesome, that is so incredible, that here I am 15 years later, it tripled my net worth. And I started with a pretty hefty net worth. I mean, I had already 16 commercial buildings that I owned. Many of them were free and clear, you know?
Yeah, I know. You're doing all right.
People can start. I've started people with just like, I had a guy, he has a cell phone company. He just had one store and he wanted to buy a strip mall across the street. And he said, I can see the potential. I know what the rent is in the area. He's in Florida. And he said, I do a little bit of real estate. I want to do it. We set up the fund. He went, raised some money from people he knew, set up the down payment, got the loan. Next thing you know, that grew so big, made money, refinanced, got another building next door. And now he's growing with his fund like crazy. It's just taking his business to another level, totally.
But they don't have to go out, or let's say I join, but no one has to go out and find a real estate deal because you already have those as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're right.
I think that's kind of important. That's why I keep saying turnkey and customized, because it's turnkey in that regard, because it sounds like you already have that fund that's operating, that you could just use that and market that.
Exactly. So people can set up a fund, and then they can invest in another fund. But if they do that, they are fund of funds. They can, actually work with fund of funds. But fund of funds are not as profitable as what I'm presenting. I tell them, set up a joint venture without the headache of managing every single thing. So to answer your question, you're absolutely right. They can just set up a fund, learn how to raise capital from Investors Club and contacts and connections and good marketing. And as they raise the money, they can do joint ventures with me. I have a project. We bought a property, $10 million. It's a residential home on Billionaires Row in San Francisco, 2725 Broadway. I'll give you the address in San Francisco. I mean, literally in the balcony, you see Nancy Pelosi's house. Across the street is the owner of Oracle, what's his name, Larry Ellison. So we bought it $10 million. This didn't even come out on the market. We got it. We're going to rehab it for $8 million. The property is going to sell at 30 to 30 some million. So I have somebody who became a project manager with me on the project, joint venture in it. And he had raised money, but he said, I don't have the time to deploy the capital. I don't have that experience on this level. So, okay, we'll go in and I'm handling the whole thing. So they have choices. Once people always ask, what comes first, a great deal and I go raise money, or I have the money and the great deals pop up? Guess what? You have the money, the deals come up from the woodwork. Money, and you call the bank and say, I'm depositing in the bank account a couple $1 million. They say, listen, let's talk about our non-performing assets.
Things change. I know. I hear that. Okay, totally. So then what, let's say someone starts a fund. I know people want to hear what's in it for them. What do they get paid? What's the expense just generally? And then what do they get paid as a result of it?
So the whole package is $25,000. That includes the setup with the attorney, the filing in the state, they're in, the LLC structure, the actual training. I give them in person for a full day. This is an intensive training of being together 8 to 10 hours. And then the follow-up when they raise capital, how to fill out the paperwork. So they are totally familiar with the PPM. I mean, they can literally go out there and explain it to a multitude of people. I've had people that already had syndications come over to my training and set up with me because they didn't want to keep setting up syndications at $20,000 or $25,000 or $30,000, whatever they were paying. They just wanted a structure that with it they can grow. And they didn't want to sell the assets 5 years. Like people, so many people are stuck now because they're trying to refinance their apartment buildings and the interest rate went up. People that set up with me, they don't have to worry about the thing. It's just the same structure. It's up and running. And at any time they can refi or sell, and they can even cash out people at any time. And people have to understand, you cannot make it so enticing and overpromise and then underdeliver, because then the investors are going to be very upset. Number one. Number two, the SEC is going to come after you. So we have been very successful, thank God, with it, and makes it a lot easier to set up, to grow, to cash out of it, to set up something as a legacy for, keep the assets. You don't have to sell them. You just refinance them, pay off, sell some, pay off.
All right. So then bottom line, what do they get? Let's say someone decides to start a fund with you. What did they get on it? Whatever. I assume it's a percentage basis or
so usually after paying the 6 and 8%, and by the way, we create also a separate class of shares where if somebody gives them, hey, listen, I'll give you $1 million, can you pay me more? We have a special class of shares. This has been run by the SEC, audited by the SEC, and approved by the SEC. They can create a separate class of share. Hey, this guy's going to give me $1 million. I want to give him 10. I want to give her 12%. They can do that. So it's a very flexible structure, not just all encompassing for the assets, not just evergreen that they can continue for a long time, but they can pay slightly different structures. But what they get is all the upside. They get the cash flow, they get the upside, they get, just let's say you bought a property for, like one of the programs we do, I'll give you an example, very specific example. So one of the things I teach people is how to find these single tenant buildings, like standalone building. Let's say it used to be Jack in the Box. So that's retail building standing vacant, big lot, drive through, but it's vacant. And it says available, like for sale or for lease. You have a fund. You can call this broker and say, hi, how much do you want for the building? Oh, we want 800,000. Listen, it's sitting vacant. I'll make you 700,000 offer. I own a fund. Here is my proof of funds. They say, okay, put it under contract at 700,000. Now, that student of mine, that person that set up with me, can understand how they can put it under contract at 700,000. They start smiling and dialing list of national tenants. They can call national tenants, and they get, let's say, Starbucks. Let's say, because all these national companies, their business model is to grow. So let's say they call, and I don't know, Subway says, yes, we're interested in that location. All you need is one tenant to call you back. They send you a letter of intent, and let's say you quote them 8,500 a month, 8,300 a month, which is 100,000 a year lease for the standalone building. The minute they sign that letter of intent, yes, would like to come in here. There's enough traffic of cars there. We like the neighboring tenants. We want to come in. That property, having Subway paying 100,000 a year, triple net, meaning Subway now will pay taxes, insurance, maintenance on the buildings. Triple net is typical. They give you a corporate guarantee. That property will jump to a 6% capitalization rate. That means 16 times the rent. The property will go to $1,667,000. They can do the calculation now. 100,000 a year will make the property worth $1,667,000. It went up by $967,000 before you even buy it.
Got it.
Or you don't buy it, because if no tenant calls you, because I don't want to make it sound like, oh, it's so easy. You can start smiling and dialing. You got 45 days under contract. Nothing happens. Nobody calls you back. You have no risk. You just walk away. You put 5,000 in earnest money, that's refunded. But the minute they say yes, and you only need one tenant to say yes, letter of intent, we're coming in. Even if they ask you for what's called tenant improvement, like, hey, we need you to kick in 100,000. I have a situation right now. We're dealing with Fat Tuesdays, and they want us to kick in 100,000. We'll give you the 100,000. The property is jumping in value 800,000 on that deal. I'll give them 100,000 tenant improvement. So they're coming in. Now you put that fund money. You can get a loan. You can put 200,000 on that deal. The bank will give you 500 in a heartbeat. Deal is done. Property value is at $1,667,000. You can sell it. You can refinance, cash out money. You can cash out the investors. Now you're a millionaire and have cash flow for the next 10 to 15 years. These tenants sign for 10 to 15 years. And right now we're signing 15 years right and left, because these big tenants are afraid of inflation. So we just do an increase of 3% per year. Fat Tuesday, we're doing 5 years flat, and then it jumps 12%, and then 5 years flat, it jumps again. Then they have, but it's just phenomenal, because you just went into a property that was vacant, put a national tenant, it jumped in value, because the value of a commercial building is based on the income it produces, who is paying it, does it come with a corporate guarantee, etc. And there is zero headache after that. And now you refinance, cash out the money, you have infinite rate of returns on endless streams of income. That's economic immortality, my friend.
It is. Yeah, I like that. I like economic immortality. So it doesn't really matter, but I'm just wondering, so how do you make your money? Obviously, $25,000 for your time, that's
for me.
You know what I mean?
What ends up happening is, we don't make much setting it up, but what ends up happening is it opens my network, because now a student finding this deal may say to me, hey, Sherif, I don't have all the money for this. Would you like to come in with 100K? So we do a partnership. Or they can say something like, can I assign it to you and walk away with X? So that we have done many times. And even we're going to evolve the fund maybe probably next year, 2025 or so, where we can do lending because there is demand for it, because banks have become much more difficult. And sometimes we have excessive cash, because I've been in the market so long. I got thousands of followers here and there. And some people say, listen, I want to invest with you. I see what you're doing with others. I don't want to set up my fund. I don't want to learn how to do joint ventures or whatever. I just want to give you the money into your fund. So we have sometimes excessive cash, and I'm very picky on the deals we do. So sometimes we'll be able to say to other fund managers that I set up, hey, Joe, you want some money? Hey, Susie, do you want some money? We have this and we can do the deal. Because I know the deals are solid, because they're following a certain formula. I've been in it so long.
And now I get it. That makes sense. That's how it's so lucrative for you. I get it. So, okay. So then, although that's a huge, by the way, how does someone get a hold of you? Let's stop there. How does someone get a hold of you?
The easiest way is to to actually go to cmrei.com. C like Charlie, M like Mary, R real, E estate, I.com. And which is actually Sherif Medawar Real Estate Investing.com. And they will see Ashley. They can also contact Ashley, my vice president. She's been with me 20 years in my education company. So they can go Ashley, ASHLEE at cmrei.com. If they put it Ashley, ASHLEY, it will go to her anyway, but she spells it with EE. Ashley at cmrei.com. They can email her and she responds right away. And we help people understand the different projects. And if they go on YouTube and put Sherif Medawar, CHERIF MEDAWAR, they can actually see a lot of videos, and any of the videos will tell them how to set up a call with Ashley or something. And we tell them the different programs. We have some simple programs, like people, once a month, I do a call for some members that come in, and it's the second Saturday of each month. And I just answer live all the questions of these gurus, students I call them students. I have many attorneys, I have many civil engineers, I have many brokers, real estate agents that come in on the calls, and they say, okay, this is complicated, doing wraparound mortgage here, there is this, what's happening there, how do we do this, sell or carry back? And with 40 some years experience, it's just, I have the answers. We have some of these clips that go on social media, and then we get people to enroll, and then they get to see my program. So it's very easy to get a hold of me. I mean, you literally put Sherif on Google, you'll find a million things pop up and how to follow me and stuff.
I know. You're easy to find. So, all right. So I'm pretty darn sure you're doing some estate planning. Maybe not you, maybe some of your attorneys. Can you go into that a little bit? Because I think you're a unique dude in that respect.
Yes. So the first thing is people look at how did I make money? Next thing they have to look at, wait a minute, how can I reduce my taxes? So reduce the taxes. There are many ways. I found the best way to be where you reside and how you can route your income via structures in places that are within the United States. Never go offshore. I'm not an offshore kind of guy. I'm sure there are reasons for some people to do it. And if it works for them, great. I support whatever is legal. But I found never to go offshore, but go to U.S. territory, like Puerto Rico has these tax incentives. So I set up there. It may not work for everybody, but I set up there my headquarters, took residence there. And although I travel a lot, like I'm in California now, here I'm in my home here in Los Angeles, but I have to spend 6 months and a day in Puerto Rico, and then the rest of the year anywhere in the U.S. So I have Florida developments and California. But the key thing is, the third thing after you reduce your taxes is you can set up an asset protection that becomes an asset protection and in estate planning. Simply, it works like this. If I can get into it within
Please do.
3 minutes. Thank you. So let's say somebody has a home, couple investment property, and a business, like a factory or something. And this person is afraid because he's got $500,000 equity in his home, maybe 100,000 equity in each one of the investment properties, and maybe 300,000 the business is worth. So he's got $1 million of equity, and this person is afraid. It's like, oh my God, my kids are driving a car right now. They're teenagers. What if they hit somebody? They're gonna come after me. They're gonna go beyond the insurance coverage I have, which is usually how people get ruined completely. Is there is a car accident or a situation where they rehabbed the home and sold it, and somebody's coming back. I'm suffocating because you have whatever mildew or whatever. And I've seen so much in my lifetime with so many students. But the key thing is to do whatever is possible to not hide. You cannot hide anymore. Now, actually, with the new rules, you have to disclose any entity that was whatever and hidden and non-disclosure of this. Everything has to be disclosed. So do not hide. The way I say it is strip the equity. So you have equity 250,000 here, 100 here, 100 here, and 300 here. Guess what? We're going to strip the equity of $1 million. How do we do it? You have a bank loan. It's a first lien. If you lose a lawsuit and they go after your equity of, I don't know, $500,000, when you lose in court, the judge is going to issue a charging order forcing you to sell the assets. So your insurance paid $1 million. That's the insurance coverage you had, provided the insurance pays. Often they deny the claim. But they're going to go after the equity of any home because they can search and find equities right away. So, but when you sell, Bank of America or Chase, whatever first lien was on that property, they're always going to get paid. The creditor always gets paid because that's the law of the land in the United States. It is set up by bankers. So how do we create a lien on the property that will be upheld by law? And the way to do it is to set up a Wyoming LLC. because Wyoming is what created the LLCs in the early 70s. We set it up for business reasons. We create the operating agreement. We do this turnkey for people. I have in-house attorneys writing it, etc. We create 13 business reasons for why it exists. Consolidate family money, flow through the funds through a living trust in case the principals die, asset protection. So asset protection is somewhere in the 13 business reasons. And once it's set up, you have to capitalize it. You have to fund it. You have to put money in it. You can put money, or by law, you can put an IOU. I owe you $1 million. I promise to fund the company with $1 million. And guess now, what does the Wyoming LLC, which is you, what does it do? It records the 250 here, 100 here, 100 here, 300 here. So we record liens against the properties. If one property is in California, one in the state of Washington, one in Arizona, and one in Wisconsin, we just strip the liens on each one. So now you have a first lien to the bank, a second lien to a Wyoming LLC, and the Wyoming LLC flows through to a living trust, which is you, your spouse. God forbid something happens, goes to the kids, go to your loved ones, to charities, whatever you want. So now you're not hiding, you're showing all your assets, but there's no equity.
And for people out there, equity stripping it's a really good concept. People, some people think it's a little bit too much work, but for the high net worth individual, all the people here are high net worth individuals, by the way. Now, the element, to me, the biggest element is, let's say someone wants to sue you and they see all this, I call it a web. They see the web of estate planning, or asset protection, I should say, in this regard. They know that, whoa, this person's organized. It doesn't make sense for the attorney who's working on contingency to try going after someone who's got a web, because, well, they know they might not get the money at the end of the day. Therefore, they're gonna be working for nothing. So it really scares attorneys because that web is in place. Asset protection, I think, makes a lot of sense just by having a structure. It makes a lot of sense.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Not only that, the attorney that is representing a litigant that wants to go after you first is going to look at the merit of the case. Oh, what? You're a dentist, you're riding a bicycle, and the guy came from behind and hit you, and now your hand shakes, you can no longer do oral surgery. You're expected to make $3 million in income the next 20 years. You know what? We're going to go after $3 million. So, but then the first thing they're going to look at is, so who hit you? Let's see their assets now. There are asset search engines. I mean, within seconds, nationwide, you had this property transferred to this. They're going to see that this individual who hit this dentist has God knows how much money in assets. They're going to then look how much equity is there. Oh, wait a minute. There is bank loan here. And there's another lien to some Wyoming LLC. There's nothing to go after. So the attorney is going to say, you want to sue this guy, you want to sue this lady, there is nothing to go after. Let's just settle with their insurance and move forward. If the person is so mad, no, I want more than the insurance. Insurance only $500,000 with this guy's car, and okay, if you want me to sue, I want to get paid now, because there'll be no condition. And here's the best part. If we sue and win against the guy that hit you, we're not going to collect a penny, because if the judge forces them to sell all the assets, the creditors got to get paid. The first bank, lien, and the Wyoming LLC. Why? Because it's a legitimate lien upheld in the United States. People don't know. There are 3 types of liens you can record against a home or a property that are upheld by law. The first type of lien is when a bank gives you money, goes through escrow, there is actual money coming in, money coming out. The second one is, let's say there's a mechanic's lien. Somebody built the pool and then told you it's going to be $20,000. Next thing he's saying, I'm sorry, Kenner, it's $40,000. And you say, I'm not paying you the extra 20. This is a lie. You told me 20, now it's 40. So he records the mechanic's lien. You're going to have to pay it sooner or later, even if you sell the property. The third type of lien is what is called an IOU. It's actual capitalized entities. So if you and I go into an LLC partnership and Kenner, you put $100,000 and I say, Kenner, I'm so sorry, I don't have 100, but I promise to pay it. You're going to say, listen, we're capitalizing this thing. I put 100. You got to put 100. So I say, okay, Kenner, I owe you $100,000. Here's a promise to put $100,000. And you say, listen, Sherif, record it against the house, so I know you're serious. And there has to be some interest on this. So then it's recorded. That is upheld by law. So it is that type of lien. So it's not that money came in, it's money will be coming and capitalizing the entity. And it's secured. Extremely powerful. And when a lawsuit is won against that, and they force the actual owner of the home to sell, if they ever force it, but the judge is going to say there's no money in it. Okay? Pays off the bank, pays off the Wyoming LLC, nothing is left. That person that won the lawsuit gets a phantom income tax bill because you had a lawsuit, you won, you have a tax bill coming. And by the way, I have a website, kmagb.com. Kiss my ass.
Say that one more time. What is it?
kmagb.com. Kissmyassesgoodbye.com.
Mhm.
Okay. There is a little animation video of 3 minutes explaining it all. We sell the whole package for $6,000. I mean, it's practically what cost me with the attorneys to structure it. And the reason I do it, it builds rapport with people. And then when people enter our world, they see the education, they see what's out there. And it really is a service more than anything. I wanted to strip my assets. I was doing the seminars. I was showing people the assets I have. I'm a very full disclosure kind of guy. I used to put my bank account, show them, hey, we just did this deal, we made this, that. And then people, you know, I had attorneys in the room that would come and say, Sherif, you're sitting on millions, you're showing cash sitting, you're showing transactions all cash, you have funds worth millions, you can get sued. So I dedicated, this is about a decade ago, I dedicated my time to crack the code on how it works in the US.
No.
And I even had attorneys sell the same program in seminars for $25,000. They pay me the $6,000, we set it up, we send it to them, and they disseminate it at $25,000. It is, I would say, I call it the ultimate asset protection. It is so simple. It's one Wyoming LLC, Kenner. I had a guy with 16 subways who was afraid to get sued because of activities in the stores and stuff. And he talked to attorneys. They set him up with 16 LLCs.
Yeah.
Got rid of all that. One LLC stripping the equity on all of them. And he keeps growing. He's got now investment properties in it. One LLC strips the equity of all that stuff.
Right.
On my website, there is frequently asked questions and there is an animation video, and we've helped people forever. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I think just from these two things we've learned, number one, for one, you're a big believer in, and this is kind of as an aside, but you're a big believer in real estate. Really, we know why. Number two, you have a fund. It sounds like it's a rock solid fund, and I guess the only way someone could know that is by researching you. And then also you have a couple of really good ideas as far as estate planning, asset protection. Really, I should say asset protection, because I think equity stripping makes a lot of sense. So again, how does someone get a hold of you?
So cmrei.com, which is Sherif Medawar Real Estate Investing.com, or they can email Ashley, ASHLEE at cmrei.com. And really, it's a pleasure to have shared that info with you. I'm so glad we reconnected here. I know we go on and off. We like all of a sudden, like a few months ago, it's like, hey, Kenner, what's going on? And then we come back in.
Yeah, that's good, John. You really do add value. I've talked to your clients, so I know we have some joint clients, so I know that you take good care of people. I really do know that. And I've seen your rates of return, which I'm just now reminded you have not, as far as I know, you've never had a down quarter, or I should say down year. And
never missed a payment.
And you're reminding me of that fact. Yeah. So what I would say is, how about this? 2 minutes. Is there anything that you would want to go over in 2 minutes that would add value to our audience? Again, real estate investors, usually about 12,000 people are out there watching, listening, potentially going to get this. What's within 2 minutes? What's one thing that you think we haven't gone over that you can add value on as an idea for those people?
Excellent. I would say don't despair and don't think the United States is going in the wrong direction. There is such noise out there about, oh, Biden doesn't know what he's doing. Oh, maybe Trump will be good. Maybe he's going to be bad. Oh, maybe the economy is going to go upside down. Forget all that noise. Life is tough, but the way to conquer the difficult times is to create new programs, to take yourself to the next level, to promote more, not to get smaller. Because when it's hard time, you can even see it on big companies. Those who cut expenses and get smaller, when they come out of it, they get so small, they're either wiped out or they get taken by those who promoted, did new programs. Every time life got tough, in 2008, 2009, when the market was very difficult, students asked me to set up a real estate fund. Everybody thought I was crazy to set up a fund in 2009. July 2009, we rolled my first fund, Mixif, and it has stayed in business and it had grown tremendously. Why? I said, time is tough, I'm going to set up this. I did more live events. It grew very big. Again, my second fund was set up in 2015. The market was readjusting. Obama had taken place. He created the Jobs Act. We set up the second fund, and both funds have been up and running forever. So look outside the box. Get out of the problem and look at it. What can I do now? I can set up a fund. I can join venture with somebody who's been up and running. Look me up. I can help, but you can help yourself. And by listening to people like you who help people out there with new information, weeding out what gurus to talk to, I think you're doing a great service and people should really pay attention to that. So thank you.
Love hearing it. I love good words of advice that you just gave. Well, let's land this plane. Once again, this is Kenner French with Vast Voice. We're telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Hopefully you've been listening very closely, because I know Sherif Medawar is a guy who can add some value to you guys. So please do contact him. Now you have his contact information. If you have any questions, obviously you can go to our website at vastsolutionsgroup.com. Again, vastsolutionsgroup.com. Sherif, it's been a pleasure, buddy.
Thank you, sir.